welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a video that I feel like is a great opportunity for me to clear the air about some misconceptions about myself that have been running rampant in your minds. I already know what some of them are going to be, so I'm buckled in. I'm ready to see what you all have to say about me. I told you guys not to hold back, not to be polite. So let's see if you guys actually did that. The first is, I assumed you'd be a nice person and be friends. Okay. I feel weird saying I'm a good person. I always find it really weird when people say that they're a good person, because I'm like, well, yeah, or, I mean, Hitler probably thought he was a good person too. Naturally, we are like the protagonists in our own stories, and like I want to think I'm a nice person. Is there room for improvement? Yes. Do I look back at some things that I've done and I'm like, that wasn't so nice? Of course. I think we all can. I think that's called self-awareness, and that allows you to grow. So thank you. I should have just taken the compliment. I like just made it into this whole fucking philosophical thing that it didn't need to be. You are blunt with no hairs in your tongue, which makes you an authentic person. I'm not sure about authenticity, but I am pretty sure it makes me a lot more rude in some situations, because I do sometimes say things that are inappropriate. For a long time, I was taught to not bottle things up. Like, all of my friends are like, Stephanie, you're so passive. You let things like slide off your shoulder. You need to express your feelings more. And then I took their advice and then I started expressing my feelings, but like in all the wrong ways. So I need to find a happy medium. I actually thought you would be less open with your life when in fact you share so much. So I do share a lot online. I share like what I'm doing, I share my dogs, I share my thoughts, but I still feel like I'm showing you guys 10% maybe. Like, there is still so much in my private life. I feel like the internet, it's like an ocean, right? And you're showing maybe like this much of the ocean, but then there's like a trench below that, like the deep ocean. And there's shit down there that hasn't even been discovered by marine biologists yet. That's kind of how I feel like. I feel like I do share, I am open, but there still is a large amount of stuff that I just decide to keep private. You're actually shy, awkward in real life, obsessed with reality TV, and judgmental. I am judgmental on the inside. Like, I'm always bitching and complaining about people judging me, like, oh, don't judge me. And then I'll go ahead and do the same thing. So I'm aware of my hypocrisy, and I need to like actively work on stuff. I'm not judging people. And I am open and outgoing and confident with people that I know well, people that I like, people that I feel comfortable being around, that I feel like aren't going to judge me. But if I'm in a group with new people, I am so nervous. I'm like a total nervous wreck. Like, I remember there were times that my friend would bring me around her big group of friends, and it's like my personality completely changes, because like when I'm with her or a few other people, I'm like my flamboyant, crazy self. But then as soon as I'm in that group setting, I'm just like, I'm like second guessing everything that comes out of my mouth, and it's actually exhausting. I hate it. You're far more sensitive than you let on. I think I am pretty sensitive. I used to be a lot more sensitive when I was younger. I think I've gotten very, very good at putting myself on autopilot, and sometimes I can almost be robotic. I'm sure you guys have witnessed it at some point, but there's like sometimes when I'm like so emotional that I literally just like, I just become a literal robot, because it's kind of like fight or flight. It's like I don't know how to handle my emotions. So I don't know, maybe that's not a good thing. You're rich. By the way, I love you so much. So rich is like millions in the bank. I don't have millions in the bank. I think I'm doing pretty well for somebody my age. I think that I've definitely set myself up very nicely for an early retirement. But yeah, I mean, rich, I mean, I've met some rich people. And I am not one of those yet. But hey, maybe one day. I feel like you have a very genuine, caring heart. Why did I have to think about that? Do I? Yes. I don't just give my heart to anybody, you know? Like, girl's getting old. I want to be wasting more years of my life. I've wasted so many years of my life, like, caring for people, like, as in man babies. You've always had money, or at least comfortable. What is the secret to stability? No, I have not. I recall the time that I lived in Los Angeles and I had $20 in my checking account and I decided to go and buy myself a bottle of Corbel with that last $20. I've struggled really, really badly in the past. In my early 20s, I was very much so living paycheck to paycheck. Like just to even like imagine those days, like where like I really was like, you know, getting up to the point of rent being due and not having enough, like being $600 short. Oh my gosh, like that shit was so scary. And then like having to go to work that night and like feeling like I have to make this money, otherwise I'm not going to make rent. Like that is not a fun situation to be in at all. So no, I haven't always had money. My family does well. Like we're not wealthy. We're not like millionaires, but my mom is a successful real estate agent. My stepdad, he sells cars. They're just like, you know, average normal people. I grew up never having to worry about when my next meal would be. And I grew up with basic necessities that every child needs. So I'm like very grateful for that. But when I did become independent in my early 20s, I definitely struggled for periods of time. But I did always make it work. I'm the type of person where, you know, if I do need money, I will find a way. I will like put my ego aside and I will do what needs to be done to make money. I worked my ass off doing lots of different jobs. I've swept and mopped floors. Always believe you're gonna end up getting money. Like, I don't know, the sky's the limit. Your portrayal on the show did not shine you in the best light. I am not judging, you are cool. I think the purpose of reality TV is to trigger emotional responses from the viewers. And I think they definitely presented us in a way that would do that, that would definitely get a very big emotional response from people. And I think like a big emotional response was like, Team Erica, Team Stephanie, rah. And of course, like there were far less people on my team because I was the villain. I actually had somebody message me recently and this girl, she was so cool about it. She was like, you were such a bitch on the show. I loved it. And I'm like, I guess that you need a villain, you need a bad guy. And I think I almost embraced that a little bit too much, where even at like some points during filming, I was like, I'm an asshole. And I guess this is just who I'm gonna be on this show. So fuck it. Even my friends who've watched the show, they're like, who is this? And I'm like, I have no idea. Sometimes the whole production of a show can really like make you act in certain ways that you normally wouldn't. Like I would normally never go to a party and like start grilling strangers that I've never met before, you know? Like that would never happen. I'm like, I would be just hanging out and having fun, but you know, at the end of the day, it's a show. There were brief moments where you guys did see my personality, and I think that's when I was doing boomerangs and shark cage diving. So like that was when I thought like, okay, well that actually resembles somebody close to who I am. You like flan? I guess. I feel like flan is second best to creme brulee. I feel like I'm gonna really trigger people by saying that because I think flan is like a cultural thing too, right? I'm sorry. All of you guys are writing like really, really nice things. Oh, okay, here's one that's good. That you spend too much money on yourself. Yes, I think that's true. I think that I do get like a little carried away, and the number one thing I go overboard with is Amazon. I will be laying in bed at night, I'm sure I'm not the only one, and I just start thinking of like things that I need and they're just the most random fucking things, like, oh, I need a garden hose, oh, I need a bug zapper, oh, I need one of those things that goes into the sink and catches all this stuff. It's a problem. Like I get Amazon packages like every other day. It's out of control. You seem like you have everything under control and in order, but in reality you have trouble making it every hour of the day. Oh my god, every hour? That's extremely stressful. I think I'm a okay functioning human being, a little bit better than that at least. I think that I have about 2, 3, 4 good days, and then I might have like a bad day where I'm just like in bed, usually in pain or just not feeling great. It's like, you know, it's like a roller coaster, but not like a big one. It's kind of just like a, and then something like that. You're actually really lonely. That's another thing. I go through like waves of feeling like I'm good, I don't want to be around people, I'm not missing out on anything, Because like, to be honest, I have at times in my life had a pop-in social life where I felt like the belle of the ball and I felt like I had so many people in my life. And then time and time again, whenever I've been in these like hyper social situations, it's always been very exhausting emotionally, mentally. You feel like you're focusing so much on like people and their drama and their problems and your problems with their problems and their problems with your problems. It's just like, oh my God. And then it's like you let yourself go because you're just like so consumed with everybody in this fucking complex social ecosystem. And I feel like I'm the best version of myself when I have a lot of alone time. I actually get kind of afraid sometimes that I'm way too content being alone, because then I feel like, oh my gosh, is it normal to enjoy being alone this much? And does this mean that the next person who comes into my life, I'm gonna have such a hard time integrating them into my life because I'm just so used to being alone? It definitely makes it hard. Like the last serious relationship I was in, when the guy moved in, I was like in shock because I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to live with another person. I don't know how to share. I don't know how to share responsibilities. Like, it was weird. So I don't know. You're very jaded from a very bad experience with opening your heart. I think I am pretty jaded from some experiences. I don't want to like throw the term PTSD around loosely because it is a very serious disorder, but I do think that to some degree I have like really bad trauma when it comes to past relationships, and that trauma makes me really paranoid and hesitant in entering any new relationship because, you know, I've had the wool pulled over my eyes. You pretended to be bi. I can just go on and on forever defending my bisexuality, but I think that should just end because I don't feel like anybody should ever feel like they have to defend the way that they feel, and you can't make anybody believe anything. I'm not gonna like sit here and be like, you guys need to believe me, because like clearly people won't. I guess it just teaches you to not seek validation from strangers, just to like, you know, be good enough validation for yourself. Don't let fucking JK Rowling tell you you're not a woman. Don't let Betty Sue on Instagram tell you you're not bisexual. Like, you know you are. That's good enough for you, right? Someone wrote that you won't post the worst responses. I'm trying to. There aren't really that many bad ones. You seem like a stereotypical American. I hope not. You look like a freak in the bed that you like to be in control. I am pretty vanilla, and last time I had sex was like such a long time ago. I don't even know what I am anymore. I admit, I thought you were spoiled at first. I think if I looked at myself from an outside perspective, I would think that too. And like all throughout my life, people have thought that I'm spoiled. And I don't know, like I spoil myself, so I guess that might make me spoiled. And you know, my parents did love me a lot. Yeah, I think I was spoiled in a way, a tad self-absorbed and a bit insecure. Yes, I do tend to be a little self-absorbed. I do fall into that category of like a person who believes that the world revolves around them. Trust me, I don't think it's a great quality to have, but sometimes I do catch myself like, you know, being a little bit too caught up in Stepanka land, and it's like, all right, you need to leave Stepanka land for a little bit and just like recognize that there's other fucking problems out there in this world. So, you know, another thing I'm working on, I think we all can sometimes be a little bit self-absorbed. Just, you know, we need to like make mental notes of that self-absorption and just do something about it. Insecure, yes, but like who isn't, right? You have a great sex life. I can't even tell you the last time I saw genitalia. Not on a computer screen. You're a bottom. I'm pretty versatile, but actually, I believe in sharing is caring. That you secretly have a sugar daddy. I definitely do not. I do not like the idea of sugar daddies. I had like one person in my life in my early 20s whom you could consider a sugar daddy, but it was very short-lived and it was disastrous and it left a really bad taste in my mouth, and I would never want to be in that position ever again. Okay, my camera died, so I didn't get to do my outro. This might look a little bit different. I hope that you learned something new about me, and maybe now you won't make as many assumptions about me as a person. But let's be frank, you probably will. I'm very easy to judge. Just look at me.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to click the thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, head over to my OnlyFans and my Patreon if you want to see more of my 18 and up content, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.